Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and explore exactly why mastering the permit-to-work system is the ultimate line of defense in high-risk industries. Listen, whether you're operating in oil and gas, petrochemicals, or heavy construction out in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or anywhere else on the globe, this applies directly to you. I'm going to be sharing some hard-earned lessons with you today. And we're not talking about textbook theory here. We're talking about the gritty reality of live operations.
Imagine signing a permit at 7 a.m. By 10 a.m., that same permit has become part of an incident investigation. Not because anyone intended to break the rules, not because people wanted to work unsafely, but because the permit became paperwork instead of protection. A permit to work is not just a piece of paper. It is literally one of the last barriers standing between controlled work and catastrophic failure. Today, we're going to break down why these systems fail in the real world and how you can master them to save lives.
All right, let's jump into Section 1. The high-stakes reality, a barrier, not a checkbox. It is a harsh truth that many serious incidents still happen even when permits exist on site. And why is that? Well, because there's a fundamental misunderstanding of their real purpose out there in the field.
So there's this massive myth that a permit is just a permission slip. A bureaucratic hurdle you have to clear before you can finally pick up your tools and get to work. The reality is entirely different. Let's get one thing straight. A permit does not create safety. The controls do. It is a rigorous, critical control system for verifying hazards and coordinating really complex activities. We're talking hot work, confined space, electrical, mechanical isolation, excavation, working at height, line breaking, or cold work.
The IOGP hits the nail on the head here. They define the permit to work as a vital risk communication tool. It bridges that massive gap between site management, the supervisors, and the frontline workers whose very lives are on the line. It ensures everyone understands exactly what the hazards are and how they are being controlled before a single wrench is even turned.
That brings us to Section 2. Why permit systems fail. The gap between process and practice. Despite having incredibly robust safety management systems in place on paper, we see operations continually falter. And this happens when the gap between the theoretical process and live, on-the-ground execution starts to widen.
Take a look at the historical data from the ADEC report on process safety accidents. It reveals a really disturbing truth. Failures in the PTW system have significantly contributed to catastrophic accidents, including the Piper Alpha tragedy. But what's even worse is that the failure rate refuses to decline across the industry. We are still making the exact same mistakes.
So how exactly do these systems break down in the real world? It usually boils down to a few common failures. You've got copy and paste permits where absolutely no real thought is given to the specific hazards of the day. You have poor hazard identification, missing or incomplete lockout-tagout procedures, extending a permit without reassessing the site, and weak communication during handovers. But you know what the most dangerous habit of all is? Signing off on a permit without physically going out and verifying the worksite.
Now check out this staggering number from the 2026 Permit Sync Safety Report. 60%. That means permits approved at the end of a shift are 60% more likely to contain errors. This happens because of what we call the pencil whipping phenomenon and administrative fatigue. When people are tired and just want to go home, the permit just becomes a checkbox. And that is exactly the moment the barrier fails.
Moving on to Section 3, Real-World Hazardous Scenarios. It's time to see how a breakdown in these controls leads directly to worst-case scenarios on an active industrial site.
These aren't just bullet points on a screen. These are the harsh realities we face. Whether it's hot work sparking near unpurged flammable lines, a confined space entry where the gas tester wasn't properly calibrated, electrical isolation failures during maintenance, excavation strikes on underground services, or simultaneous operations, SIMOPS, creating invisible, conflicting hazards. A strong PTW system is specifically designed to interrupt this exact chain of events before the accident actually occurs.
And compounding all these risks is that chaotic 7 a.m. scramble for manual signatures on paper permits. People are rushing, papers get lost, and operational visibility is basically zero. On the flip side, facilities utilizing fully digital PTW systems reported a 41% higher compliance rate in pre-task risk assessments. Digital systems force the workflow, they flag SIMOPS conflicts instantly, and they completely eliminate the excuse of missing paperwork.
This perfectly transitions into Section 4, the value of certified training. To combat these failures and the rising experience gap in our workforce, formal training is absolutely essential. It serves as that critical bridge between classroom theory and the brutal reality of live operations.
A proper certified course develops real-world competence. Safety Australia training says it perfectly. You're not just a participant, you're a leader in keeping the site compliant and operational. It transforms you from someone who just follows instructions into a leader who is fully trusted to identify hidden hazards, challenge poor practices, and safely coordinate entire departments.
This is why employers across the globe increasingly demand professionals who hold formal PTW competence. It proves you actually understand how to navigate complex operational risks. It shows you understand isolation philosophy, how to manage conflicting SIMOPs, improve field verification, strengthen communication, and make decisive safety calls under extreme pressure, rather than just quoting regulations from a textbook.
Which naturally leads us to Section 5, Career Acceleration and Leadership. Beyond the checkbox, mastering these systems doesn't just save lives on your site. It fundamentally accelerates your professional trajectory in the heavy industry sector.
Here's the truth. Organizations don't just want rule followers anymore. They want leaders who actually understand operational risk. By demonstrating leadership and operational thinking through PTW mastery, you fast-track your progression into highly critical roles. We're talking Senior Safety Advisor, Shutdown HSE Lead, Permit Coordinator, HSE Manager, Commissioning Safety Advisor, or Oil and Gas HSE Specialist.
Having this specialized credential on your resume proves to an employer that you have the authority and the practical knowledge to issue work permits. It shows you can manage authorization for potentially dangerous tasks efficiently, methodically, and most importantly, safely. It sets you apart from the crowd from day one. All right, finally, let's hit Section 6, Practical Tips and Conclusion, your action plan. As an operational safety leader, I am not going to let you leave this explainer without some highly practical, actionable advice that you can take into your very next shift.
Write these down and commit them to memory. First, never sign a permit you have not personally verified. Second, always visit the site before authorizing high-risk work to verify physical isolations. Third, aggressively challenge any paperwork that seems incomplete, unclear, or rushed. And fourth, treat every single permit as a critical risk communication tool.
And you must constantly ask yourself this one vital question. What could change after this permit is issued? You have to anticipate sudden shifts in weather, adjacent crew activities bringing new hazards into your zone, or process changes that emerge mid-shift. Remember, a permit is just a snapshot in time. The environment around it is always moving.
The most dangerous permit isn't the one with missing signatures. It's the one everyone assumes is correct. True safety professionals don't just issue permits. They understand the operational barriers those permits are designed to protect. Master the permit-to-work system, and you won't just become a better safety professional. You'll become someone trusted to protect people, assets, and operations when the stakes are highest.
If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to www.youtube.com/ITeachSafety and hit the notification button to be updated on the upcoming videos.